Hi.
How's it going?
Welcome back to Akiko's channel that always be with Conor.
Perpetually always with me.
On CA Dialogue episode 5 on
dating culture in Ireland. Yeah.
And our own experience in dating.
So we'll kick it off and just talk about dating in general in Ireland.
And probably dating in general in Indonesia.
Yeah, just kind of give a brief overview. So we'll start with Indonesia. Do a quick one.
I don't know where to start. I know that I got a lot of questions coming to my DM asking what is the differences between dating an Indonesian guy and then a BULE. We call it in Indonesia BULE.
White guy.
A white guy. See, the thing is, I don't really want to talk the differences because it's going to create bias. It's kind of like, oh, so this is better, this is worse. The thing is, there is no better or worse in terms of dating white guy or Indonesian or Arabic guy. And the thing is, in Indonesia, dating is pretty normal. Like, I know that Indonesian majority is they are Muslim.
Yeah.
We're not Muslim country, but Indonesia, like, majority are Muslim people. And so dating are normal in Indonesia. I know it comes to surprise when I talk with my Muslim friends here in Ireland that they think that dating in Indonesia is kind of like taboo. Well, actually in Indonesia, whatever your religion is, people are dating. So, so does my parents as well. I'm not going to speak in general as I cannot kind of like represent Indonesian in general as whole, but I will speak based on my experience. Like my parents, they're pretty okay with dating. Like they're like kind of like, they don't say you cannot date because like we're Muslim or blah blah blah. Like my parents kind of like, that's normal. Like they can't really avoid their children when they hit puberty. They can't really do anything about that, you know, like it's just a normal thing. And then they just say, you know, the limit, you know, the boundaries, like, you know what you can do, you know what you shouldn't do and you can't do. And then mostly like every time I date, I always tell my parents, like my parents know my exes, know like who I'm seeing, who I was seeing, you know. And I dated Indonesian guys, I dated Arabic as well, I dated white guy. And what are the differences? I don't know. Probably just kind of like a view, like a life, values, life principles, you know. But mostly like I always date some kind of like guys that I know that I can compromise with and can have a discussion, you know. So I'm not BULE oriented, I'm not Indonesian oriented, I'm not Arabic oriented, really. Like I'm kind of like down to a guy who can understand me, who I'm comfortable to have a discussion with, who share the same values, the same visions, the same principles about life. So basically it. I know that now with the trend, like recently in Indonesia, people start to kind of like judging Muslim women or Muslim guys who are dating, you know. I don't know if they are completely against that or just doing that for a sensation, you know. Like I got some judgment as well, but look, I don't really care what people think anymore. I used to care what people think. The most important thing is I know what I'm doing, and then I tell my parents what I'm doing. They are aware where I am, they are aware what kind of relationship that I'm in, and then they know the person that I'm currently dating. It's like we're soon to be part from our dating because like we know that we want to go into serious level, and then you know what I mean.
I do know. So segueing onto Irish style or just European, I suppose.
Yes, again, like just speak on what you know and then your experience. You can't really speak for.
Oh, well, God no.
Irish in whole.
My experience in dating is that you have the kind of the one date type things that you go on. You're just like going, oh, this person seems nice, we'll go on a date, have a bit of fun, and that's kind of the end of it. You just go off and you go arcade or something like that, or you go to the movies. That's kind of a popular one. Go out for dinner. If it was like serious though, you'd be going out for dinner. And that's when you know you're kind of moving into different territory of maybe a relationship type of thing. But if it's kind of like a one and done type of dating thing, you don't really look back or think much on it. But like I've dated quite a few women just for like one and done date. Nothing happened, and it was just really went out, went to the movies, went out for a drink when I was, pre-Muslim. But you get my point. It's just like most kind of European people are, I'd say most people in dating, because there's no real difference in dating. It's just kind
I think the difference is between dating culture in Indonesia and in Ireland. You guys have dating, and then you guys have in relationship.
Yeah, so we'll have like statuses. So like you're kind of like going steady, and kind of similar to the Americans.
Like in Indonesia, you just go on one stage. Like dating and in relationship, it's the same thing in Indonesia. Like when you decided that, oh, do you want to be my boyfriend or do you want to be my girlfriend? Then you are dating, or a.k.a. in a relationship.
Yeah, it's not like that. But definitely not for me anyway. I was dating people, but it was mutually understood that we weren't like exclusive. Because like I know that some of the people I was dating, they were seeing other people, but because we weren't serious, it was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. Obviously, like, depends on what you're into at the end of the day, because you can't really judge a big difference between two. It's kind of like each relationship itself is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
So like in terms of the difference between our relationships that we've had, we all based them on the person we were seeing, and it was, that's what determined how serious the relationship was, what type of things that you did. Like you generally go for things that you would have been interested in.
Yeah.
So like what we did mainly is like we knew that we were like in a serious relationship. We know where we're headed anyway.
Yeah.
But like, so we'd be going for like coffee dates just for like, general upkeep, making sure that we're still, doing things we enjoy doing, like going for our coffees, having chats and stuff like that.
Yeah, going for lunch or dinner.
Yeah, dinners are kind of, they're the romantic evenings where we get to dinner and we kind of, be mushy and romantic,
Yeah, mostly like our dating is always involving either food, coffee, or books.
Yeah.
Or all of them together.
Together in one day.
Yeah, because like we love to go on, like we don't really enjoy going out much. Because like I feel like we go one day out and then we do coffee, we do food, and then we do book shopping.
Yeah, we normally make the most out of it because we're not out all that often because we're both working full time. So we kind of make the most of what days we have, and when we go out we do as much as we can. And it generally involves us flying around the place being like, oh, we want to go to this coffee shop because I heard it's nice, or there's this bookshop I heard of, and I'm like, oh, there's this, we may be passing a shop that I want to go into to look at clothes or something.
Yeah.
There's loads of things that we just do in general. But like, dating is kind of like, the more relaxed you are into it, the more you can enjoy yourself, I'd say. Yeah. And I'd say most Irish lads would be quite relaxed going into the dating scene. They're kind of like, going in expecting nothing to come of it, and if something does, great. But I don't know about every person. Some people go in and they want serious straight away. Some people go in and they don't want anything to do with serious. Yeah.
And I also remember that when the day is nice, we decided to go on a hike or just go on for a walk.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our dating thing is pretty basic and normal. But we just enjoy each other's company. That's the most important thing for me. Like, I know that there's some couple who always needs extra or like a grand thing, like going for a romantic getaway or whatever it is that involves a lot of money. Like, our dating is pretty much just cost us less than €20.
Yeah, but we get a great experience out of it. Of like, when we go for a coffee, we tried loads of different coffee shops. Like the last one we were trying was in Blackrock.
In Blackrock. Yeah.
I've never been to Blackrock, so it was an adventure.
And then mostly like our money when we're going for a date spent in a bookshop.
Yep.
That's the biggest expenses of our dating, is spending money for books.
Yeah, the hardest thing is getting her out of the bookshop, because once she goes in, that's her, and she will stay there for 8 hours without even having a second thought and be like, oh yeah, I forgot you were here, and I'm there holding $20-30 just like, you're getting all of these? Oh no, that's just my overall looking of what I'm going to pick, and then I'll reduce it down to like the top 9, and you're like, oh my god. So it's a bookshop is a great experience, but every now and again I go in with her and I actually find a book that I want to read. I'm like, oh, I like that, yeah, okay, I'll get that. But then she's just like, ooh, extra book for me.
Yeah.
So like, again, we date and we just make the most of our dates out.
Yeah.
So if it's simple, we generally like it to be simple, no stress, just enjoying company. And
or maybe like there's gonna be like one weekend that we go and see our friends, or we have our friends, and then we play kind of like some VR game.
Oh yeah, having like dates for us are like company coming up and so on. Having like our friends come up and we're all like cooking together and we're all like having a big meal together, and it's like nice and handy.
Yeah, or
it's very inexpensive, but we all have a great time because we're all with company, we enjoy it, we're all just having a laugh.
Yeah, and then like last weekend we had Conor's mom and Conor's sister, and we kind of like just had dinner at home and then play VR as well, chatting. So again, our dating is nothing very exciting for some of you maybe, but it's very special for us.
Yeah, we make the most of it. Like we enjoy it, and that's what works for us.
Yeah, and also, I have questions. This is one of the concerns that back then I didn't want to date Irish guy, because like I know that Irish guys sometimes takes a long time until they decided, okay, this is the one, I want to go serious with her, I'm going to propose, I'm going to marry her. That's one of the biggest reasons I didn't want to date Irish guy, because like they took so long until they get serious. Now, is that a stereotype or is it true?
It kind of depends on the guy, really. But I'd say overall, if you were to take an average, most European, I'd say, are kind of like there's a process. There's normally, I'd say the normal is you're dating for 5 years of being in a relationship. That's the normal, and then you propose, and then you get married maybe a year or two after. It depends on funds, because like weddings are expensive, especially in Western culture. Like you're spending upwards of for a very small wedding, maybe 30 grand. It can be pricey. So everyone's like taking their time, making sure it's right, because you don't want to just drop 30 grand and be like, oh, that was a mistake. So I'd say Western people could be quite more cautious about getting serious, I'd say.
Yeah. See, especially the thing is, I think that marriage nowadays for some couple is not kind of like the goals of a relationship. Like some of them kind of like that, oh, they just want to be together because they are happy to be together, they are kind of like become a better person together, and marriage or wedding is not something important for some of the couples.
Yeah.
You know, like, but for us, like, we know that we want to be married, and then that is kind of like in our religion as well, marriage is kind of like one of the most important act.
Yeah.
Or kind of like, you know,
it's one of our main deeds that we need to accomplish.
Yeah, so like I'm quite grateful that we share the same value. Even like before we got really serious, like I love the way we talk about how we want our relationship, where we were going, you know, like, and we talk about children as well. Do we want a children? Because like I know that there's some couple, this thing happened in Indonesia as well, because like they are dating, but there are certain things that they don't discuss before get married. Like for example, like financial thing, in terms of children. I know that there's some couple, they got married, and then after they got married, the wife or the husband wants children, and then the other did not want children. You know, or
it's all about coming back to like previous videos where we were on about communication.
Yeah.
We had nothing that was out of bounds. We wanted to have everything out in the open, what our values were and what we needed, and to be happy. So we both kind of lined up that we're like, yeah, we know what we want. We know that we want to be married. We want to have children. We want to live in a country. We don't really care as much. So like we're fine with a country that will benefit us. Like currently Ireland benefits us, and we'll make the most of it. But like if we're like later on in life, married with children, we want to go off to, I don't know, Germany, because maybe she has a job opportunity in Germany, or I have a job opportunity in Germany, and it will benefit us both. We'll go to Germany. you know. But it'd be a thing that we talk about as
But
we go.
yeah, but then like we talk as well, like the area that we want to live. Like we both agree that we don't want to go outside of Europe.
Yeah.
It's because like after we weighing down, like if we have children, then it will be benefit them if we live in certain country. You know, like we talk about the education as well, how we want to raise our children when we have them, and then what kind of education that we want them to have. You know. And then we also consider, because we both Muslim, we want to raise our children in Islamic way, and then we want to be like, we want to make sure that the area that we live is at least have mosque and kind of
relatively
like have,
close, like.
yeah, it doesn't not necessarily like have to be very close, but you know, like
You don't want to be traveling 4 hours to go to the mosque.
yeah, so like those things we talk about that, like how we want to raise our children, and then like what kind of a parenting style that we want to talk.
So like a lot of the topics, they're big topics. It doesn't happen overnight. Like
No.
we spent
2 years.
weeks and weeks and weeks discussing different areas, but we took our time getting to it and let it naturally happen. We didn't go like, we started the relationship, I want this, this and this, do you want this, this and this, how do you want it to happen? No. We came into it like, oh, are you looking for something serious, or are you looking for something casual? And I was just like, oh, I want something serious, because I've had enough of casual. And Akiko was like, okay, we'll see how it goes. And it was a slow kind of see where things go and let it naturally happen. And then all the conversations started to happen.
Yeah, and then also one of the things that I want to ask while we are talking now about the who pays the date. Like I know that there's some of you probably curious. Like in Indonesia, it's very very common that the guy pays for the girls. You know, like for everything. I used to expect that as well when I was sitting in Indonesia and dating some Indonesian guys. But then I can hear, like me and you don't always have to pay our date. Sometimes
Yeah,
I
so
pay,
it's-
sometimes you pay.
Sometimes like we do our dates that sometimes they're a surprise, so it's kind of like at the start it was kind of like it's customary that the guy pays, so I was very like upfront, like if you want me to pay I will, I'm happy to pay. But herself being polite and courteous is like, oh no, it's okay, I can pay if you want. So there's that kind of combat there where we're like, oh, who's gonna pay now, you know? So we kind of came to the agreement that if you want to pay, you can pay, but if not, it'll default to like me. But like if we're treating, say if I want to surprise her, I'm just going to take her out on the date and pay for everything and not tell her I'm paying for everything and just do it. But if she wants to do the same thing will happen, you know. But we're very kind of like, there's no pressure on the other person to pay, because like some weeks, one person may be stuck for money, you know, because like Ireland's expensive, you know, bills to pay and stuff like that. So you may, there's a bit of balance to it, like
Exactly.
and we're very upfront with. Oh, I'm a bit tight this week, and she'd be like, oh, it's okay, it's on me. Or I'd be like going, oh, I have a bit of extra this week. She's like, oh, great, perfect.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, we talk everything and then try to balance everything as well. I think that is kind of like the dating culture in Western. I think everything has to be talked and then balanced as well. And I know that I got a lot of questions as well. How to get a BULE? Because like I know that some of Indonesian girls wants to date BULE. One thing that I want to say to you girls, if you wanted to date BULE, be prepared that everything has to be kind of like balance of, like you cannot expect, oh, you want to be paid for everything and you don't want to kind of like make an effort for your partner. The thing is, that's not always the case. You know, like in here it's pretty normal that the girls pay for the guys' dinner and then the guys pays for.
Well, no, that's in like an ongoing long relationship.
Yeah.
But if it's early
So
days, like the first couple of dates, you can be pretty sure that the guy's probably going to pay for it.
Yeah, definitely. But like if you want to maintain a long-term relationship that leads to marriage, it has to be balanced. Like you cannot expect your male partner to pay everything for you.
You can and you can't. Like some guys are happy doing it, and to them, if they have the money to support it, great.
Yeah.
You know, it makes them have a sense of like pride, maybe, or they're very proud of themselves that they can do it. And to each their own. I like having it balanced, but I do love, you know, treating Akiko to nice dates.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I don't want him to pay for everything as well.
So there's a bit of a guilt. So I hate when she pays for anything for me because I get real guilty about it, and it's a horrible thing. Because then when she gets me like a present or something of like, oh, I got you a jumper because you're the one that had a hole in it, and I'm like, you shouldn't have done that. You know, I'm happy. The other one's fine. It's only a massive hole.
I think the thing is, I love to get him something. He loves to get me something as well. So like,
yeah, we just kind of make the most of it. I'm getting more used to the fact that she gets me something. It's a trial though.
yeah.
But
All right.
yeah, that's.
I think that's kind of like a tiny part of our dating culture.
I think yeah, just enough to give you an insight. But that's just our experience. Every relationship is different, so the best thing you can do is try yourself. If you want to date white guys, try date a white guy, and if you want to not date a white guy, then don't date a white guy.
All right.
Okay.
See you in the next CA dialogue.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. Bye bye.